Have you ever felt that? That quiet space between who you are right now and who you know deep down you could be? It's that feeling when the noise of life gets loud, the pressure feels heavy, and you can just feel your potential calling out to you. Well, let's dive right into that, because unlocking that next level of you means we have to break the very habits that are keeping you stuck. And this really sets the stage for everything. This is the core truth we're starting with today. Progress isn't about just wanting it more. Life doesn't show up with a reward just because you're tired of struggling. It shows up for the disciplined. It shows up for the worker. So think about it like this. There are really two versions of you. On one side, there's your current self, maybe feeling a little stuck, frustrated, like you're living at half strength. But then, there's your full potential. That's the you who is driven by purpose, wakes up with a fire in their chest, and is filled with faith. And that gap between the two, that's what we're going to talk about closing today. Answering that call to your potential, it really requires a decision. It's a conscious choice to stop playing small and to finally start breaking the habits that are keeping you right where you are. So that leads us to the most important question. What are those habits anyway? There are 4 of them, just 4 key habits that we're going to unpack and hopefully help you dismantle one by one. Think of these as the patterns that are keeping the door to your future locked tight. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with a habit of waiting. Then we'll tackle self-doubt head-on. After that, we'll talk about conquering distraction. And finally, we'll get into what might be the most dangerous habit of them all, quitting too soon. All right, let's jump into the first one. Okay, the very first habit you have got to break is the habit of waiting. You know what I mean? Waiting for the right time, waiting for permission from someone, waiting for the fear to just magically go away. We do this because we're afraid of being imperfect, we're afraid of failing, but the truth is, way too many people spend their entire lives in the waiting room of their own destiny.
And this right here is such a critical distinction. See, on one side, you've got readiness. Readiness is just a feeling. It's based on comfort, and it basically waits for fear to disappear, which, let's be honest, might be never. But on the other side, you've got purpose. And purpose is a decision. It's based on faith, and it means you move forward in spite of the fear.
So I have to ask you, straight up, what are you waiting for? I mean, really, what would happen if you just started today? You don't need to see the entire staircase. You just need to have the courage to take that first step. Now, let's move on to habit number 2, and you'll see how these things build on each other. We're talking about the habit of self-doubt. Oh man, this is that inner voice that can talk you right out of your own purpose before you even take a step towards it. I want you to think of doubt this way. It is a thief. It literally sneaks in and steals your confidence. It steals your courage, and it silences that voice inside you that says, I can do this. It's an internal story, usually built on old failures or what someone else said that you've started to believe is fact. But you are not created to shrink down or play small. And this is such a crucial question to ask yourself. Whose voice have you been listening to? Whose voice have you allowed to define your limits? Who told you that you weren't enough or that you had to be perfect before you could be powerful? Because here's the secret, okay? Confidence isn't something you get by waiting for other people's approval. Confidence is built by one thing, showing up, especially when you're unsure, especially when you're afraid, when your legs are shaking. Courage isn't about not having fear. It's about looking fear in the eye and choosing to move anyway. All right, on to habit number 3, and this is a huge one in the world we live in today, the habit of distraction. This is the great enemy of the discipline that you absolutely need to succeed. And this really shows you the chain reaction, doesn't it? Distraction kills your discipline. And without discipline, that doorway to success, it stays slammed shut. You simply cannot rise to a higher level if your attention is constantly being pulled in a million different directions. This is such an important thing to understand. Being busy just means you're moving, but you're unfocused. You're working hard, sure, but it's motion without any real direction. Being productive, on the other hand, means you're actually progressing, you're focused, you're working smart, not just hard, and it's so easy to confuse the two. So I want you to take a second and really think about this. Be honest with yourself. What is it that's stealing your focus? Is it your phone? Is it certain people in your life? Old patterns you keep falling into? You have to identify them if you want to break the cycle, because your purpose demands your undivided attention. And now for our 4th and final habit to break. We're talking about endurance. The habit is quitting too soon, and this is maybe the most destructive of them all.
It's that instinct to walk away right before the breakthrough, all because things got a little uncomfortable.
This quote just reframes the whole idea of hardship perfectly. Pressure, resistance, being tested, these aren't things we should be trying to avoid. They are the very ingredients that create strength, that build growth, and that forge character. So let's redefine what hard really means. When something is hard, it doesn't mean it's impossible. It's not a stop sign. It's actually a sign that you're growing. It means you're being stretched beyond your comfort zone, and it means your true character is finally being revealed. So when you start to break these 4 habits, when you stop waiting, silence the doubt, conquer distraction, and endure the hard times, what happens? Well, you begin to unlock the door to a completely different kind of life. This right here, this is the reward. It's a life where excuses have nowhere to hide and faith leads the way. It's a life defined not by how comfortable you are, but by your courage and by real, tangible growth. And this brings us to a final, really powerful idea. The whole point isn't to chase after some external, shiny version of greatness. The goal is the internal transformation. It's about becoming, day by day, habit by habit, the person you were truly born to be. Your potential is waiting. Your future is on the line. Your life is calling you to a higher level. So the only question left is, how are you going to answer that call?